following video is an interview with my father from around 1996. The subject is his service in the Army in World War II and in the Air Force in occupied Japan.
The one before, there was one old man, they call him Papa-san, didn't have hardly any teeth. He'd go out and dig up the cigarette butts out of the can, but then Jimmy come along and the old Papa-san, all he could say, thank you, I forget how he said it. But anyway, he'd always buy, you know. And then Jimmy came there and he could speak English, and I enjoyed talking to him. And he was intelligent, I could tell it.
What kind of things did you talk about?
I mean, that was 50 years ago. I kind of forget. Talked about the war, you know, about the war, and I had possibly talked about him and his family, and didn't time too much about mine. But we was talking about lifestyles in the United States, and the way they were different than Japan, and he told me different things about Japan that I didn't know. Probably never would have known if he wouldn't have told me. I forget just what they were, but he was a hard worker. And just to think that he used to shine my shoes or do things like that, you know, or do menial tasks. And now he's done it very well. And I'm happy for him. But all my time in Japan wasn't too bad, but it wasn't too good either. And I don't know when I first met Jimmy, but a lot of the time I was gone, and I was in charge of a supply train, which only consisted of 2 cars hooked to a large train, with me and a GI cook, and we had Japanese carboy, they called it. Took care of our clothes and making the bed and getting beer for us, calling in ahead, and had a Japanese KP help clean up, and we would always stop in front of the RTO, that's the train station, because we was hauling supplies for radar, and radar was supposed to be very secret. You wasn't supposed to mention that word on the telephone. And we went up to it from Misawa to a town named Omori, got on a ferry that they run the train on there, 500 or 600 people. Then we went to Hokkaido, the biggest part of Japan, and where the weather is like here, has deep snow and everything. Went to way up northern there to Wakkanai, it's called, and that was a lot different than Honshu, because they had farms just like we do here, and it was nice. You shut it off a minute, I gotta wait.
I wanted to know, when you were in Japan, was there a bunch of ruins everywhere from the war, or was it pretty there, or what was it like?
Well, when I first seen Japan, I seen Yokohama and Tokyo, and it was just like a big tornado hit. They had the B-29s that bombed it with fire bombs, and there was so much fire that it created a big wind, and a lot of those houses were made wasn't made like they are now. It was made out of wood, a lot of wood, and it surprised me that it was so destructive. It was really bad. Then I went up through the countries on a train and went up there to Misawa, the station there.
What was it like there?
Well, it was, the town there was named Firamaki. It was just a little town, nothing modern at all. And the air base was big. A lot of jet airplanes there, and then I worked in the supply room. Is there anything else you want to know?
Yeah. Were you there before or after they dropped that? Was it an atom bomb?
No, I was in after. During the when they dropped that, I was in the Army in Tacloban, Leyte.
What did you think when you found out about that?
I thought it was propaganda. I thought they'd lied to us.
You didn't believe they would do that?
No, not for a while. 'Cause, well, not that I didn't believe they'd do it. I didn't know they had anything that powerful.
What did you hear when you first heard it? What did they say?
I don't remember. It was on the radio, and
They told how destructive it was.
they told us about it, but I didn't see it, like in a movie or anything. We had some movies outside. See, this was after I got out of the hospital, and I was working on the docks as like you could call a foreman, but it was over a bunch of Japanese people who was working.
And where was that? In Lake?
In Tacloban, Leyte, in the Philippines. And I would like to see how it is over there now. And Jimmy said that Furamaki is no longer a town. That it's just all Misawa. And I know it's going to be a lot different.
So when did you finally believe that they really did that, drop that bomb, and that it was really that destructive?
When the war ended, when they told me when they said the war was over, I believed it. It was quite a thing. The Filipinos, well, they went wild. And I went downtown.
What were they doing when they went wild?
Well, when I left the town, pretty quick after one Filipino shot another one, because he was supposedly a collaborator with the Japanese, and they was getting their revenge. I wasn't too sure about them, the Filipinos.
Well, you said when you went downtown, and then I cut in.
Downtown was Tacloban. It's like going down Spillman Valley or something, only maybe smaller. And I just wanted to go down and see what was going on.
And what was it? What was going on? What did you see?
Just a lot of noise and some of the talk I didn't understand because it was in Tagalog. That's a Philippine, one of their languages. Another one is Visayan, and they did speak some Spanish, but not much. And well, it was a happy time that the war was over, because I thought I'd go home, and I did go home, and let's see, not until I got home in January.